Hello. This is a long awaited video. I think I took at least almost 3 months to get it out. And if you can hear a really loud sound in the background, that's my robot vacuum. This is real life. But yes, hello. I'm happy to share that I'm ready with this video now. And even though it is technically Christmas themed, well, it's still relevant, I guess. And a lot of the things that I will be talking about in this video, the techniques, the thoughts, the reflections, still really relevant. So here I'm just pulling away my pencil marks from like the color pencil outline that I did, and in this video there will be sped up moments because there are a lot of I don't want to make this video really long, but if you actually like in an actual time kind of video, please let me know. So here again, just like the previous video, I'm just making a wash of color, just a warm color underneath. Now that I'm watching this video back, I do think that the palette's a little bit small, but it's okay. Like, I was just working with what I already had out, and the little or lower barrier to entry to getting this done is fine. Yeah, sometimes I don't have the luxury of time to have a very elaborate setup in this season of mothering a toddler, and so a lot of the reason why I took like 3 months to get this video out is because, yes, like, my baby turned into a toddler. It seems a little bit like it was a shock to me. So as I listen to my own audio, as I edit this video, I can hear my own frustrations or annoyances. Yeah. Press record. Too distracted. So after that light wash of warmth in the background, I lay on the selected color. So in the original, this is based on a digital original that I did for a client, but I'm painting this out because why not? And it's a way for me to refine my own designs. The original was a lot darker, like the red, because the client wanted Christmas colors. The red was a lot darker, but here I'm choosing this dusty rose, and wow, like, as I watch back, I think this is such a lovely color, and I wouldn't choose it naturally, apart from the fact that I did work with something similar in the original, and I find that it is such a lovely color to work with, and I probably will continue to work with it in the future. Oh, I think I didn't mention, but in the previous video, the first of the three of this series that I plan to do, um, I did list the tools that I'm using, but basically what I'm using here is a gouache, and it's the Holbein gouache, not acrylic gouache, but gouache. So it has the ability to work like watercolor, and I can make it really, really light and loose. And as you can see, I'm not really concerned about making the background really smooth because I kind of like that kind of like uneven textured surface. It's something new that I'm working with as well. Usually when I usually work with watercolor, and I usually also um, have this strange standard of like, oh, everything needs to look really refined. But in this season, I'm actually embracing the, I guess, the rough edges and the textures a lot more. Okay, so if you see, I think the colors in this particular one weren't as straightforward to me. I think I changed the colors at least for these parts where I'm lining the letters 2-3 times. Um, yeah, and I think this is just a testament to how sometimes I just don't know what happens until I lay the color down, and until it actually lays down next to, for example, here, the background color. Um, and it's also where I learn, okay, this, I guess, ochre golden color doesn't really work really well against this background for example, the readability of the letters, because once I zoom out, I think what I found was that it doesn't have as much contrast as I want it to, and it gets a bit drowned out because the white of the words are quite similar in value to the background color. So this is just, I guess, where, okay, like, even though it takes way more time, it's always something that I get to learn for future work, future projects. you can't hear it because I edited it out, but this is the part of the video where I was really struggling. My baby, almost toddler, starting to get more whiny, has more needs, is more aware. And I found myself really struggling about when and how to do my work, because I think babies actually, in the season of mothering a toddler, they don't really need that much. They're not as aware. And so you can just kind of leave them next to you and they'll be satisfied. Of course, they need to be fed and changed, but they don't have the same needs, I guess, as a toddler does. And especially in this season where, a toddler needs a lot more, not just the attention, but the ability and presence of the parent or the caregiver to be a calm presence. And I guess as I reflect on the advent of this season, advent, because this is Christmas, this is a Christmas piece, but yeah, the advent of this season was really tough because of how much I was basing my my ability to do work on the previous season, and I wasn't really keeping pace or keeping up with my child, and just finding new ways to adapt and work. So right now I don't even have that many naps, because I usually it's actually a lot easier to do deeper work during naps, and I don't have a lot of time in his waking hours to do work either, because of how much he wants to be involved in my work. And yeah, to be able to paint with a toddler who just wants to touch and grab and feel everything is not easy. And so I just have to be a lot more discerning about what I work on, and also communicate with my husband, like, hey, can I have this chunk of time during Saturdays so that I can just work and crank out the things that I really want to do. So I guess the past few months have been a time where I get to figure out and try new things and get frustrated and try again. And there were and still are many hard days where I have to put my to-do list aside. But yeah, I guess as I look back on it, I'm still glad that I can edit this now and kind of reflect on this season and post it out. And thank you so much for being patient. And I the reason why I decided to kind of still edit this even though the season is over is because of those of you who said that you would still want to watch something like this even though the season is over. So yes, I'm just touched and glad that you would bother and spend the time with me. Okay, so you can see is at this point of time where the colors have been settled. It took a while to get there, and I had to do this over a couple of days, over a couple of hours, like I mentioned before, because I had to take many breaks and figure out my workflow and things like that. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting combination of colors. I wouldn't again naturally want to work with these colors, but uh, it's the kind of thing where I adjusted along the way, and the gold is a lot better. Like as compared to the previous one, you can definitely tell that the previous color was a lot more washed out, and even the previous like dusty red that I'm using for the for the words in the banner, um too washed out. Yeah, and this darker, almost brown, yeah, it works so much better against the light background of the banner. just putting the original piece side by side, you can see how different it is. But basically I'm trying to do the foliage of the original, and foliage I'll just keep it green because it's Christmas, red and green. Excuse me. And so this is the fun part. I think like everything else just seems a lot more settled, and the fun part is actually filling in the little swirls and where the leaves are laid. Okay, actually the green is so lovely. I love it. Okay. Okay, so I'm done with the painting, and here I'm just taking out the painter's tape. On second thoughts, I think like after having 3 months of a break, I kind of feel like maybe it would have been better if I just kept the white border, but for continuity's sake, I did the decorated border just like the other first painting, and I will probably have to carry that on to the other one so that it's like, you know, a complete set. But yeah, just trying out new things here. And I think what I did was I did like a similar kind of like foliage warm colored border, and I carried over the ochre color onto the border, which you will see. So that concludes the second piece of this trilogy. And I actually realized that I didn't even manage to paint the third one, so I will get to filming the painting process. But thank you so much for journeying with me and for watching this. And I hope that this has been somewhat therapeutic and calming for you.